Here.
Well, there we go.
Hey everybody, Kent Martin's here. Second start for a first start. Welcome to today's social media blast warm up for our Amazon Live show that comes on at 2 p.m. Central Time every day of the week. Today is Thursday, which means today is On the Wing. We're going to be talking about birding and ways to get started in birding and the tools you need for birding. So let's see what's on the agenda. Binoculars, that's what's on the agenda for today in a spotting scope. And you're going to see
We're training somebody.
Yeah, Tyler's running how to run. Paul, yeah, that's his name. Paul's job. He was the gorilla that walked through the basketball game. So that was Paul. He's sitting over there. Tyler's the Sasquatch. And Sasquatch looked at Tyler and said, "Man, you're hairy." So coming from Sasquatch, that's quite a observation. Now so you know why I want a mic. We love Tyler a lot. Tyler doesn't have a mic over there. He's loud enough. He's loud enough to probably hear him. Actually, that'd just be noise in the background. He'll get canceled by the microphone. So anyway, he's learned how to run the switch because Paul's going to be taking some, I'm not sure who approved it, but some vacation days. So
I do it alone.
Going to be have a new switch and a new command board that's different from the one at Paul's desk. So Tyler's running how to do it over there. Man, my screen is way behind because Paul just walked through. I mean, it was like 10 or 15 seconds behind. I know it. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about birds. And one of the tools you're going to need, and you'll see this if you follow us over to the Amazon Live broadcast, and we would encourage you to do that because the more people that watch, the more algorithm kicks us out to more people and pushes us out to more people, as well as if you click that follow button, that helps a lot too and helps more people see our Amazon Live content. So you want to watch birds, you see birds in your yard, you see birds around flittering. You know, and if you stop and think about, birds are around us all the time, and we can make them an integral part of our lives if we just stop and admire their beauty, listen to their song. And, a lot of us may be out, taking a walk and hear a bird, or on our patio, or walking in the house and hear a bird. Stop and listen to that fine feathered friend. Listen to that songbird, and get a pair of binoculars and take a look at it. We're going to talk about some binoculars that'll help you do that. But you do need a tool that'll help you find out what it is. And, there's plenty of apps out there that'll do it. But especially songs, in my experience, the apps just don't do a good job of hearing the bird. But a good old analog bird book, and one that I have, actually I have two of them. One on my desk that's actually at my house right now, and one in my travel trailer. And it is the National Geographic Field Guide to North American Birds, or Birds of North America, some such. Over on Amazon, you can pick them up for, I believe, under $20. A really nice book. Has exemplar drawings, not photographs of individuals, but very detailed paintings that were reproduced that give you the absolute archetypical, the perfect specimen of each species. You have some maps that give you all sorts of information, as well as description of the birds and things like that. So over in our Amazon Live broadcast, we're actually going to be looking at 3 different birds. One of them is aptly named the murder bird. And we'll talk more about that bird on the show and show you some pictures and tell you why it's called the murder bird. If you have time, you can look it up now and get ahead of the game, or you can just wait and see what this beautiful bird looks like and why it's got that wonderful nickname. We're not going to show it right now.
Which bird is it?
The murder bird.
The murder bird? You don't want to show it right now?
No, I don't want to show it right now. I want it to be a surprise on the Amazon Live broadcast.
There's a thing called Google.
Yeah, but they can Google it, or they can just wait to be surprised. They can try going into the Google machine and doing it.
This is why I don't want a microphone.
Why? What would you say right now, Tyler?
Continue.
He would say, continue, Kent. There you go. All right, so the murder bird, you can look it up if you want to, or just wait. So let's start out. Binoculars. If you've got kids or young adults in your life, you can get them active and with you in binoculars. If you want to use these for astronomy, these are good for astronomy. I am taking a couple of pair of these with me too.
Hold it on the bottom of the deal.
The Nebraska Star Party. Nebraska Star Party is next week up in the rural part of Nebraska. Bortle 1 skies, for those of you who are not astronomers, that means really dark. And going to be doing some great astronomy. I'm going to take these. I'm actually going to try and do the binocular Messiers with these, try and get 50 or 60 Messier objects, very fuzzies up in the sky with this pair of binoculars. It'll be great fun, and using these binoculars. What are these binoculars? These binoculars right here are the Bresser Kids Specialized Binoculars. They're named Kids Specialized, but these are real binoculars, folks. These have glass lenses in them, has a diopter so you can adjust the focus for your right eye. So you're going to focus on with your left eye and then focus the diopter for your right eye so both eyes are in focus. These are called kids binoculars because the interpupillary distance is not real wide apart. These are fine for me because I guess I have a kid-sized interpupillary distance, actually a little bit too big, but right there is where it comes into a single circle. Fine binoculars, love these. Metal body with a rubberized, the yellow is rubberized, so you know, got a good grip to it, but that's metal right there, folks.
So you take this to the what? The Star Party?
I'm going to take these to the Star Party, to the Nebraska
and the Arizona
Star Party, and I will take some to the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party as well.
Do you want to?
We're going to be doing bird watching.
You want to let Scott tell us about it?
Oh, is Scott there?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing some bird watching at the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party. It's an astronomy event, but we're going to do some birding there as well. So let's let Scott tell you more about that event.
If you're in love with the stars, you love the Milky Way, and you want to be out with astronomers under a really dark sky, come to the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party with Biosphere 2. It's going to be amazing. You'll be at Oracle State Park, Oracle, Arizona, and we're going to have music, stars, astronomy, door prizes, a lot of fun. Come to explorescientific.com/events and sign up.
And there you go. A little bit about the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party coming up September 21 through 25, as he said, in Oracle State Park. Oracle, the city of Oracle, is turning this into a community festival. I guess they don't have anything really in the fall, but they are now have embraced this, and it's going to be a community-wide festival with events going on all over town, not just out at the state park. It's going to be a great time, and I would love to see y'all out there. Again, we're going to have some local bird watchers who are going to lead some bird watching tours. You're going to need a pair of binoculars. I'm going to get all fancy and use some of these, I do believe. So I'm going to take some with me as well. If I suddenly got brighter, that's because my aura just improved immensely. There we go. Thank you very much. That, and there goes the gorilla through the basketball game again. So, if you got a kid in your life and you want to get them involved in bird watching with you, buy a couple of pair of these. A pair for you, and a pair for the kid or kids in your life. Go out and use the same binoculars they use. My dad realized early on that he bought us some kids' fishing rods, and we struggled to catch fish. But when he realized that when we used his rods, it wasn't about us not being able to catch fish. It was about using the crummy stuff that we had. And when we started using his gear, we caught fish, and he bought us his gear. And we were using the same stuff Dad was, my brother and I, Andy. And we learned to get good gear. Well, you know, if you get a pair of these are not crummy binoculars, but you're out there with them using a real high-powered pair of binoculars, and they're using these, you're saying, hey, you can use those kid binoculars, kid. But if you go out there and say, hey, I've got these binoculars for you and these binoculars for me, let's go out and look at birds and use the same gear they have, guess what? They're going to feel special because you're using the same gear they are. So a couple of pair, I think, are the way to go for these. Now then, these are 6x21. What do those numbers mean? Real simple. The eyepieces right here are 6 power. So it's 6 power eyepieces, and the objective end where the light comes in is 21 millimeters. So this hole right here determines how much light goes in the binoculars. In this case, 21 millimeters, we have 34, 32, 42, 50. You can get some big binoculars for astronomy that are huge things that you can't even really hold up for more than a few seconds and you can't steady them. These binoculars right here, you don't have that problem. They're nice, lightweight. Also comes with a neck strap that has a quick release on it, and if the kid gets hung or you get hung, this is going to pop off and release you from it so you don't get strangled at all. So we're going to switch now to another pair of binoculars. We're going to go to the National Geographic 8x42 binoculars. Over on Amazon, we sell a ton of these. These have like a 4.8 star review, and we sell a ton of them over there. A very popular binocular comes in under $40 for these binoculars. So you ask me, oh, how about those Bresser Kids Specialized binoculars? Where do they come in? Over on Amazon.com, they come in for under $25, if my memory serves. So this pair of binoculars right here, twist up eye cups. Oh, and the numbers, let's talk about the numbers. 8x42, that 8 number means, you say it. Yep, that's right. 8 power eyepieces, and 42 means 42 millimeters of light coming into your eyes. You got a couple of comments. 2 moving fingers of fate. Well, thank you. They're the fickle fingers of fate. They're Mike Overacker. 3.5 millimeter exit pupil is fine for the kids. Yes, Mike, and it's fine for me too. I have no problem looking at them. Those binoculars are fantastic binoculars for adults and kids, as long as your eyes aren't real far apart on your head. So I like this pair of binoculars a lot. We sell a bunch of them, great price point, a really good way to get into binoculars if you want a little bit bigger pair of binoculars. Now, Scott Roberts has what he calls the twist test, and Tyler a couple of weeks ago broke some binoculars on live TV because instead of just going twist, Tyler went, Oh, I didn't know it. I can't see what screen we're on now. So he instead of just going twist it to see if there's any flexure, he put his thumbs up here and he pressed really hard with a thumb. And Tyler, he worked out. Tyler, Iron Man, hard chest here, and he broke it. But we put it back together. It just popped off. We put the prism back in correctly, glued it in, put the eyepiece back on. It's that piece right there, and it's fine. So don't do the twist test like Tyler. Do it like Scott. Tyler tries to twist them into 2. Scott just sees if they flex. So there's a difference there between what Tyler does and what Scott does. I'm looking over at Tyler, and he's smiling, he's listening, he's hearing me. All right, so again, all good binoculars. If you have a diopter, it's not just a really inexpensive entry-level binocular. The way you focus them, you simply look through the left eyepiece and cover up the right. You could close one eye, but when you do this, it changes the shape of your other eye. So both eyes open, focus one eye. All right, here, get over here and look over Noah's shoulder and get it focused. Then cover up the other side. Don't turn the focus knob, but turn the diopter focuser for your right eye. And now you're focusing for your right eye. There we go. And now the binoculars are in great focus for both my eyes. Having the binoculars in focus for both your eyes, what does that do for you? It makes your eyes relax. It makes your brain relax. If you can focus both eyes, because each eye focuses on most people differently, you get both eyes in focus, makes your brain really happy. You can see a whole lot more as you get into things. What time it is over there, fellas?
1:45.
Got plenty of time here. All right, so we're going to jump into, what do I want to go to now? That's where I was headed. Good choice there. We're going to go to the spotting scope. Spotting scope is a specialized telescope with different designs than a lot of telescopes. This is always hard. I need to use my right hand to get that cover off. There we go. Whacked myself in the belly. That felt good, didn't it? Yes, it did. All right, so this is a spotting scope. It's a big boy right here. It has a zoom eyepiece that goes from 20 power up to 60 power right there. So you can zoom in on stuff.
Can't move the camera, so I'm going to have to move you.
But right before the show, he told me to move the table forward a wee bit. So there you go. So I guess I'm
You can go.
framed better. I'm just trying to think what I want to say.
Go.
All right.
Yeah, we have to fit all of you now.
I have put on a little bit of weight. So anyway, has a zoom eyepiece, twist up eye cover. The focus is a coarse focus. You can move it really quick to get it close to focus, and then finalize it using the sharp slow motion focus, the fine focus. Right now, so it's an 8x20, and the objective size is an astounding 80 millimeters. So this is an 80 millimeter telescope, if you will, that's designed with a prism inside here that makes it a erect image and left to right correct. A fantastic scope. This is an Alpen Apex scope. It is a beautiful, beautiful device. The benefits of it is you can look down into it, right? Or here's a cool little thing. If you got it on a tripod and you want to turn it to a more comfortable viewing angle, you can, just like that. And so you're sitting here, maybe propped up, and then look at it, use binoculars, look at the spotting scope, whatever makes it easier. You find a comfortable viewing angle. It comes with a shoe down here that is a 1/4 to 20 shoe. That's the standard tripod thread in the United States and North America. So if you put a tripod, have a tripod with that screw, you just screw it on and voila, you got a tripod to sit on. Now this model does not come with a tripod. Some come with a small tripod. This one does not. So you're going to have a tripod to put it on. Fantastic device though for bird watching, going out in the woods and looking for deer and animals. Would not be good for taking out and looking in the woods as you walk because the harder to point it at something than a pair of binoculars. But if you got birds that are a fairly good distance and like ducks feeding on a lake or marsh, that's a fantastic use for them. I have used a spotting scope exactly for that, as well as for watching deer walk across, a pasture or a wood's edge as well. So just a beautiful device. It comes with this protective sleeve. Now, this is a waterproof device. It's nitrogen purged, so all the air is forced out. Nitrogen is an inert, dry gas, so it can hold no moisture in it. Therefore, it can't fog up internally, right? So being waterproof, and it's not fog up internally, it may get dew or fog on the outside of on the glass elements, but it's not going to get inside where it can damage things. But just because it's waterproof doesn't mean you want to leave it out in the elements where it can get, soaking wet. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You want to protect your investment as much as you can. So it comes with this nice nylon neoprene lined case that you can put it in and protect it, right? You can carry it in the case, protected. The end right here zips up, just like that, and it zips up just like that. Let me see if I can get jammed on there a little bit better. There we go. So you can get that in there all the way, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to take it. I'm going to take it back out. But you want to use it. Right there, it's ready to go. Pull the end cap off, unzip it, exposes the eyepiece and the focus, and thought of everything when this was made. This has a zipper right here. You can unzip it and mount it to a 1/4 to 20 tripod. Also, over in our Amazon Live, when we have the store going, you're going to be able to see we have a window mount. So if you're in your vehicle, you can put that on the bottom of the spotting scope on the 1/4 to 20, and if you need it, pull up and you see something you want to look at, you can pull it up. Sort of a little U-piece, roll your window down, set it over the glass, and now you have it just like a tripod, so you can move it left, right, and up and down to find it on the subject. So going to a second camera, how about that? Getting fancy here.
Now we're going here.
Getting fancy here. So you can see that big old beautiful piece of glass right there. It is, can you see it right there? I don't see a monitor, so I can't tell if you're seeing it. I'm going to assume you are. It has a twist up or slide up dew shield / sun shield, and you can see how it slides in and out. Helps you protect the glass from maybe potentially rain or sunlight. Sunlight hits that glass, you can see it in here. This way, if the sun's coming in, it's going to hit this and not shine off the front of the glass, making your viewing less than desirable. This is the Alpen Apex 20-60 by 80 binoculars. You can, not a binocular, spotting scope, you can pick them up at explorescientific.com. Click on binoculars and work your way to the Alpen brand, and actually spotting scopes as well. And you can pick yours up. This is an investment. You're not going to, pick this up for $75 or $100. I think it's I'm not going to quote a price, but it's around $500 for this spotting scope. This is an investment. If you are already into it and looking to upgrade what you're doing, a spotting scope is certainly one way to do it. Mike Overacker, murder of crows, absolutely, but that's not the bird we're looking at. It's the murder bird, or the butcher bird, I think is another term for that bird we're going to talk about over on.
Flock of ravens is an unkindness. It is. It's true.
It's
Again, this is why I choose not to have a mic.
I believe that. He says a flock of crows is
No, flock of ravens.
a flock of ravens is
an unkindness.
is an unkindness. Tell that to the ravens.
No,
When after you die,
they're murdered.
they'll pick over
Yes, ma'am.
your dry bones. Hey, there's Annie. Come over here and say hi to the world, Annie.
No, I can ask you something.
Annie has a question for somebody. So, anyway, Alpen scope right here. All right, so what else we want to talk about? Let's talk about, what time is it?
153.
153. The Alpen Shasta Ridge binoculars. This is a fantastic pair of binoculars. One thing I like about these better, once you start getting up in Alpen, you start getting this really comfortable, stretching neoprene neck strap, shoulder strap, right?
Walking up there, it stops.
Everybody's playing around with cameras, and
You just do your job.
I like fun. I like watching it. A great neck strap right here really makes it comfortable to use these binoculars. Binoculars come in a nice carrying case. These are the Alpen Shasta Ridge series of binoculars. This particular binocular is, 10 by 42s, that's what I thought. Nice, compact, but yet powerful. Have a 10 power eyepiece right here with twist up eye cups. Standard diopter, nice, generous, large focusing mechanism when you get a hold of it. The objective 42 millimeters across that have the flip up attached eye cups. These will pull out if you give them a tug, but I advise you not, just leave them in there so they're always ready to flip up. These have been redesigned from the original Alpen Shasta Ridge binoculars. The original Shasta Ridge company went out of business in like 2016, and
Business. They retired.
they retired and didn't sell the company and shut down, folded up the tent and went on down the road. And in that time, a lot of factories that they were using closed, moved. In the case of the Shasta Ridge, the tools that were used to make them were sold or destroyed. And when Explore Scientific bought the name brand, we got no inventory because there was none left. So some of the binoculars had to be redesigned, and this is one of those pairs. The redesign made these a lot better. It's a modern design, yes, because, better machining, better glass manufacturing, better coating technologies, all of those things were implemented into the new Shasta Ridge binoculars. These are a spectacular pair at 10 by 42, and I think, I can't remember, will these focus that as close as the camera? I think they will. Let's see. Nope, not quite. Not quite. Let's see if they'll focus. Oh yeah, so the camera's about 8 feet away, and the switch over there is about 9.5, 10 feet. So I'm close at focusing inside of 10 feet. So which is probably going to be inside of 3, right at 3 meters, something like that. A great pair of binoculars. Why would you want to focus on something that close? A lot of times you can get really close to some birds, and when you can then use magnification of 8 or 10 power to look at those birds, you start seeing details that you can't see when they're 30 or 40 feet away. That's why birders like to have a pair of binoculars that is a close focus binoculars. And 8 by 32, 10 by 42, right in the sweet spot of where many birders want. That's a popular size for bird watchers. And again, if you're wanting to get into this hobby, and it is a wonderful hobby, I wasn't into it. I grew up doing bird watching with my parents, but life went on down the road, and I was always interested in it and would look at birds and like to watch cardinals and robins and things like blue jays and things. But I really wasn't into going out and finding birds, and COVID created more of a situation that I had free time on my hands. I started watching the birds in the yard more, and then we started this birding show, which got me really rekindled that interest. And since then, I've talked about this before, I have started writing down my life list of birds. So you can see cardinals multiple times, but once you get a cardinal, you can't add it on to your life list. And 600 is a bunch of birds. One of the guys that was the gentleman who was the original host of the show, had 597. He was 3 birds shy of 600, and he had effectively gotten every bird he could get and wasn't really interested in traveling anymore to get 3 more birds. And he said, if I get 3 more birds, it's because they came to me, and he's okay with that. But I don't know, 300 away from 600, I would think that, boy, I'm going to go find 3 more birds somewhere. But that may entail having to go somewhere very exotic, and his position, he didn't want to do that. So we're getting ready to roll over.
Fly right into it, no intro, no nothing, because we don't have the ability to do it from the direction.
Okay, so typically when we go in from social media broadcast pre-warm up to Amazon.com, we just roll. We go to dead air, not dead air, but a graphic, and then relaunch in Amazon. But the new switch system is not set up for that right now, so we're not going to do that. So we're just going to break straight in to that platform. And if you're out on the social media still watching it, we're going to be talking about the Amazon carousel, which if you're on, go to Amazon.com/live and find us. You'll see the carousel, which has the items, many of the items, or all the items we're talking about today, and their pricing. If you buy it through there, it helps the Amazon Live program as well. Or you can just go to explorescientific.com and buy items directly from us that way. So there's a message I see on my screen that says, check your encoder settings, keyframe interval, recommend 2. I don't know, just telling you, 1 minute. So while that's getting ready to happen, I'm going to put things back together just a little bit, because we're just going to start over where we just did, now that I'm warmed up with what I want to say. And we're going to start all over again and go through this entire lineup. You can stay on the social media blast if you want to, because we will be streaming on both, and we can see your comments, although I can't reference you because Amazon wants us to stay on Amazon's site, so I can't send you to explorescientific.com. I'll just have to say go to Amazon. But that's how it works. It's their rules, and we'll play by them. But we are streaming live to everyone else on our normal stream as well. So we're going to switch off or switch straight in. How close are we, fellas?
No, hang on. No, not yet.
Oh, hang on.
All right, go to...
So here we go. No silent air, but at the same time.
I'm going to go to 8. 3,
Hey.
2. Go ahead. We're gonna cut out as soon as.
Hey everybody, Kent Mart. And that's 21 millimeters. The bigger the number, the bigger the hole, the more light comes through the binoculars into your eye. These are the Bressler 6x21 Kids Binoculars. You can go over there right now and click on the carousel and pick them up. Right now, order a couple pair, some for yourself and some for a kid, or, you know, if you've got some 6, 7, 8-year-old kids who are interested in the outdoors, you could be the hero gift giver this Christmas, or whatever you're thinking about. You can be the hero gift giver and get them a pair of Bressler binoculars, a unique gift. And again, you're not getting a toy pair of binoculars, you're getting a real pair of binoculars right here in the Bressler specialized, kid specialized 6x21 binoculars. All right, so moving along down the lineup of binoculars I have today, we're going to the National Geographic, right there, the National Geographic 8x42 binoculars. The 8 means, as we talked about, 8 power objective, or eyepiece, 8 power eyepiece, and the objective end is 42 millimeters in diameter. That 42 millimeters means you have a whole lot more light coming in these binoculars. Are we off?
Yeah, they kicked us off of Amazon.
Okay, we've been kicked off of Amazon for some reason, and who knows why.
They don't like you.
They don't like Tyler. Tyler's the thing. We haven't been kicked off in a long time. It was Tyler's presence, his aura projected through the internets, and they sensed his presence, and they dropped him like a hot potato. All right, so going on. How do we want to handle this?
Keep going.
Keep going. Okay. The National Geographic, the show must go on. The National Geographic 8x42 binoculars are a fantastic pair. They sell well on Amazon. They're, what, Noah, 4.8 stars, something like that? The National Geographic 8x42s.
Yeah, they're up there, 4.5.
4.5, somewhere in that neck of the woods. That's a high review rate for an inexpensive pair of binoculars. That's an impressive review rate. So one way to test binoculars to see if they're decent or not is the first test is the Scott Roberts twist test. He'll take a pair of binoculars and just twist them like this. Unlike Tyler Roberts, one of my coworkers. Tyler Bowman. That's it, Tyler Bowman. Tyler's a strong fella, and when you say twist them, see if they flex, he takes that to mean see if you can twist them in two. And he can twist things in two or knock the end caps off or something. So we're not letting Tyler do that anymore because Tyler breaks things. And yeah, if you run over anything with a car, you're probably going to break it. If you take a pair of binoculars and try and twist them in half, you're going to damage them. That's not the twist test. That's the destroy test. The flex test is give them a little wiggle and see if they wiggle. This pair doesn't wiggle. That tells you the mechanism that holds the two halves together is a solid, great pair of binoculars. It's got a really good hinge point on them. So binoculars, you can swing them just like that. These have, let's just see, compare the interpupillary distance. As you can see, this has a few more millimeters, maybe as much as a centimeter, at least 5 or 6 or 7 millimeters difference when you go from the center to the center. So that's why these are kids binoculars. They're just a little bit narrower. Otherwise, they're a great pair of binoculars. Just can't fit your eyes far apart. Or if you like Paul Newton, the director, his eyes are so far apart, they're back here by his ears. I exaggerate only slightly, but he can't look through most binoculars because his eyes are too far apart, and the interpupillary distance is just not enough on binoculars.
You forget we're training today, which means that I'm free to walk up here.
I'm excited about that, Paul.
That's weird.
And see, his eyes are really far apart. His eyes are really far apart. All right, so I think we're back up on Amazon now. Sorry about it dropping off, and welcome back if you were with us to the Amazon live broadcast. We'd love for you to go to, easy to find us, go to Amazon Live, amazon.com/live, and search for Explore Scientific, and you'll find us as you've done here on the Amazon live stream. So these are the National Geographic. There's the logo. 8 by 42 binoculars over in the carousel right now. You click on it, it'll take you to that page. You can read the reviews, see the star ratings, and make that buying decision. If you're wanting to get into birding or sports watching, or need a pair of binoculars for something, this is a great, inexpensive yet really solid, rugged pair of binoculars that will get into it. Now these are fully coated binoculars, meaning the binocular has coating on this surface of glass and that surface of glass. So if it's fully coated, that means the air-facing surfaces have coatings on them that enhance the brightness, enhance the sharpness, things like that. So moving along to another pair of binoculars. These are the Magnaview 8 by 25s. Now, the difference is, I shift now because the difference is these binoculars are fully coated, fully multi-coated, meaning fully, both air-facing pieces of glass have coatings on them, but multi-coated, mini-coating, the images, the glass surfaces inside that have light going through them are also coated with special coatings, again, to enhance brightness and sharpness and contrast. This pair of binoculars is an 8 by 25, so 8 power and 25 millimeters. This pair of binoculars is small, compact, folds up in such a way, as you can see right there, folds up like that, so you can put them in your pocket. So you can put them in your pocket, like in the shirt I'm wearing, right here. You can put them in your pocket, switching the camera to show my pocket. There we go. Right here in my pocket in my Habit brand shirt. Now, Explore Scientific Habit is not an Explore Scientific brand. I wear a lot of them. So we thought, why not just go ahead and put them up in the carousel? I love these shirts. They're wicking. They have sun protection in them. They have vented back. Very nice, nice baggy shirts. And Kent loves a nice baggy shirt for sure. And wear them all the time. In fact, I've bought some, and I'm going to next week, when I'm back in 2 weeks, you'll see me with an Explore Scientific logo right there. So if you want to carry a pair of binocular with you, right here, we can get you some, Paul. We can get you some.
Do I have to pay for it?
I have a guy, yes, just like I did. Just like I did. So, actually, you can go over to the carousel and pick one up right now. Great shirts.
You select it in the carousel, too.
You can select it in the carousel, click on it, and check it out, and then buy it. All right, so these are Alpen Magnaview. Alpen binoculars have series, Magnaview, Shasta Ridge, Teton, Apex, goes down the line. As you get down the line, they get more expensive. What drives the expense up? Better glass, better coatings, better metals inside, all sorts of things drive up, make it cost a little bit more. If you're on Amazon Live right now and would like to give us a shout out and tell us you're there, we would love for you to do that. You can click that chat button and talk directly to us. If you have a question, we'll be excited to answer that question, have a conversation with you as well. Always fun to have viewer interaction about whatever we're doing. If you know we do astronomy as well, and you have an astronomy question, you can ask it as well. BirdWatching, if you want a question about any of our educational and toy products, ask us about that as well. Annie has a show on Tuesdays that is about toys and fun stuff. I call it Fun Day Tuesday. Nobody's come up with a name otherwise. So,
Educational Tuesday.
Educational Tuesday. Boy, that has a ring to it, doesn't it, folks? Educational.
Annie Tuesday?
Annie and a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Could be. Magnaview, 8 by 25 binoculars. Once again, nice compact pair of binoculars, so you can carry them with you all the time. They have a strap that comes with them. I just don't put them on because putting them back in the box is more difficult, but has a strap and a case that comes with them as well. Great pair to carry with you, really easy, really compact. That's exactly why they were designed the way they were, to be really compact and really easy to carry. A great pair of binoculars from Alpen Binocular. So moving along, this is the Alpen wings. I believe it's 8 by 32s, if I remember correctly. You'd think I've done these enough, I would know. These are 8 by 34. I was close. So, okay, here's a quiz time. What does the 8 mean? Yes, you're right. It means 8 power eyepieces, and the 42 is the diameter of the objective lens. I knew you could answer that question and get it right. We've done it enough. It's easy to, oh, Annie's back in, she's marching. There's a problem.
Summoned.
There's a problem
I
somewhere.
was summoned.
We heard nobody summon.
Another job to do.
Talk to Scott.
Okay, so
Talk to Scott.
So here we go. These come with keeper rings on them. They don't go in and attach. These have little rings that go on. I would advise you to just leave them on there. There's no reason to take them off. That way the eyepieces are always ready to be covered up at a moment's notice. You don't have to dig for them. This is an open bridge design. It allows you to get your hands down in here really well, really get a great grip on these. And as we said, these are 8 by 34s, 8 power eyepieces, 34 millimeter objective lens, bigger around, more light. So these bring in more light than the other pair of binoculars we did, and a little bit more power as well. Twist up eye cups, fully multi-coated, and I didn't tell you, once you get to the wings, or the Magnaviews, they are waterproof, which means the inside has been purged with either nitrogen or argon. That means that they're waterproof. How does that make them waterproof and they won't fog up inside? Argon and nitrogen are inert, dry gases that will not hold moisture. So when all the air inside is replaced with an inert gas, there's no longer any moisture in there. They get sealed up, the O-rings close them off, and now you got an inert gas with no moisture. When the temperature gets right, and if a pair of binoculars would have fogged up, these aren't inside, they're not going to. Will these fog up outside? Absolutely. If you leave them where they're really dewy, or the temperature gets right, or you go and accidentally breathe on them, they're going to fog up. But that's going to go away. It's not going to hurt them any. When you fog up inside, that can damage all sorts of stuff. That's why if you can buy a pair of binoculars, all things equal, buy a pair of waterproof binoculars. But if you buy like the National Geographic binoculars to get started, simply remember, these aren't waterproof, they're water resistant. You know, they get a little wet, but you don't want to submerge them. You don't want to take them scuba diving. We sort of joked about ought to take a pair of binoculars and have a guy scuba dive and use the binoculars to show that those binoculars are waterproof. I think it'd be a hoot, but we've never done it. But I think one of these days we're going to do it, by golly, just because it'll be funny to have that video, to see some guy in scuba suit, you know, using the binoculars to prove that they are indeed waterproof. And in fact, we're willing to go do it and show them submerged in a tank and prove it.
Salt water, however, may corrode it after a couple hours.
Sure, salt water is going to corrode the metal, but like anything else, if you go saltwater fishing, the first thing you do to your fishing rods is, and all your scuba tanks and wetsuits is, you wash them off with fresh water so you don't have that problem, right? You get all that water off of them, all that salt water off, so they don't crust up and corrode. However, if you're Tyler, you leave it in your swimsuit because you like the feeling of crusty, salt encrusted swimsuit. So I know Tyler does that. He goes to the beach and just,
Okay, this is
Yeah.
a G-rated stream.
yeah. So that's Tyler.
The
All right,
producer is now yelling at you.
the producer is yelling at me, "Hey, Micah, come join me on the live broadcast." Never, he says, with absolutely no sense of humor in his voice. He's like, never. All right, so Alpen Wings, 8 by 34 binoculars.
Force no murder yet.
I'm not even going to say that live. I hope it didn't get picked up on the mic. The keeper rings, keep it here. The neck strap, you can thread through one of these, this side of the eyepiece, the ocular eye protectors, and keep it on your strap so it always is there. Handy for you to use, waiting for when you want to cover them up. Now, this is a bigger pair of binoculars, not going to fit real easy in a shirt pocket. Probably could put them in a coat pocket. But a cool thing about it is,
That'll fit in your pocket.
It'll fit in a coat pocket for sure. It won't.
Those pockets.
No, I don't think so. I tried it. It won't fit. Wait.
Yeah.
Yep, just barely fits.
There it is.
Just barely fits. Look at that.
So
Ugh.
I'm giving you great shots here, Tyler. You don't even have
It's, okay, so there you go. It does fit in your pocket. You can carry it around in your pocket. You know, it's a little bit lopsided. You might get tired of that lopsidedness, so you'd put another pair in this pocket so you could be walking around with 2 pair of binoculars with 1 person. That'd make you cool right there. Okay, so also comes, however, getting them out of that pocket
Never said anything about getting them out of the pocket.
might present more of a challenge. I think I can do it.
Tickling?
I think I can do it. I think I can do it. There we go. Out of the pocket, just like that. There we go. The case that comes with it has a little belt strap, so you can strap these on your belt. I guess that'd be like a holster almost. You'd have a binocular holster, so you could have them on your belt with you, ready to use at a moment's notice. There we go. Comes with a neck strap, comes with a cleaning pin and a microfiber cloth. Shoulder strap on the bag to keep them in. Nice double zipper, really well thought out design. You can go over the carousel right now, pick these up, click on them, take a look at them, and pick them up for the low price that they are over on the carousel. If you're out there watching, we would love to hear from you. Give us a shout out, a howdy, a hey, a hello, whatever language you want to ask, say howdy in. We can give you a shout out back. We'd love to have conversations and questions from our viewers out there today and every day. Now I'm moving along to the Alpen Shasta Ridge. Oh, wait a minute. Birds. Birds. We have some birds today. So what are we going to do for the birds? How's this going to work? We're going to wing it. Very good. Very, very good.
Bird 1.
All right.
Bird 1, bird 2.
Bird 1 is the murder bird or the butcher bird.
Is that correct?
Number 1. There we go. That's it. I can only see part of it, but that's
How
it.
did he murder anything? He's like 2 inches.
So this is the logger-headed shrike. And what we got here is Carl Bernhardt sent me these pictures. And if you want to see, if you have pictures of birds you'd love to share with us, you can give us a chat right now. And or the easier thing would be go to the Explore Scientific store here on Amazon.com. Click on Contact Seller. Noah will get your message and he'll tell you how you can get us the pictures that we can use your pictures as well. They need to be your property, your pictures. So Carl Bernhardt in Southern California said he'd been seeing postings about logger-headed shrikes being around one of the wildlife areas that he goes to, and this would be the San Jacinto Wildlife. Three different locations and took pictures of them. That's the pictures we have here. Here's a fantastic one as well. That is a beautiful picture of the logger-headed shrike. Thick-bodied. Blocky head and a thick bill. Don't use too many of them too quickly. Have a large blocky head and a thick bill with a small hook. The tail is very long and rounded, as we can see here in these pictures. Loggerhead is a synonym for blockhead. So I have a few friends I'm going to start calling loggerheads, Tyler. That refers to their unique bird's head in relation to its body. How big is this bird? It's about the size of an American robin. So it's a gray bird with a black mask and white flashes in the black wings. Bird picture.
You live.
Bird picture up while I'm talking about the bird.
That easy. Yeah.
Bird picture. The gray head contrasts with the wide black mask, black bill, and white throat. The tail is black with white corners, and there's the base of the primaries forms a handkerchief spot when the wings are closed, and it presents a large white patch in flight. They'll sit on low exposed branches and skin for rodents, lizard, birds, and insects. They eat small prey such as ground beetles, but they're most famous, and here's where the nickname comes from, they're most famous for impaling large items on thorns, off trees, and on barbed wire fences to come back and eat later. So they'll impale a lizard on a thorn or another bird or otherwise on a thorn or barbed wire fence to come eat them later. They often hover, and when flying, they use a burst of very rapid wing beats. Let's talk about their bill just a little bit. It features a pair of pointy projections named tomial teeth, and like a falcon, the shrike tackles vertebrae and with a precise attack to the nape, the back of the neck, and it's believed that they use the tomial teeth to paralyze the animals with a jab to the spinal cord. Hence the name butcher bird or murder bird. They impale their animals, their prey, on thorns. And if they kill a insect or a mammal, a vertebrate that has poisonous tendencies like specific toads and monarch butterflies, they have learned to, or they innately know, to let them set at least 3 days before they start eating them, to let the toxins in the body dissipate. Such a beautiful bird with such murderous tendencies for a songbird. So shrikes in North America have different colorations. We won't go into details. And where the birds range? Anywhere in the southern half of the United States. The breeding uses most of the U.S. and actually extends some up into the central Canadian provinces. And so basically, if you're in the southern half of the U.S., year-round, you can see loggerhead shrikes. And during breeding season, up all the way to the Canadian border and up into Canada. And that is the loggerhead shrike. Now we're going to go on and talk about a couple pair of binoculars, and then we're going to talk about another bird, and it's a kind of woodpecker that is indigenous only to California. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to talk about that. So, looking at the new Shasta Ridge, this is a 10 by 42 pair of binoculars. As we go up the Alpine line, we go from Magnaview to Wings to Shasta Ridge to Teton to Apex. As you move along that, you get higher quality, better coatings, better materials, better bodies, better glass. All those things add up to higher cost. You can see the over in the carousel. Click on them and check out the price over there. This is a beautiful pair of binoculars, re-engineered to take care of modern manufacturing processes, especially in the glass that's created and in the coatings of that glass. A really nice, comfortable design in your hand. Has a checkerboard pattern that gives you a really good grip. And Micah, you need to come over here and let them see you use these binoculars. He just shook his head, no. So, twist up eye cups, all good, all really good binoculars are going to have them. Really generous size, smooth as silk, focusing control, a diopter. These will focus at about 9 meters, which say is effectively 10 feet. So I can't quite focus on the cameras, but I can focus on the control deck over there just a little bit farther away. I don't wear my glasses. I can't see anything through them. Oh no. Eye cups are covered, so I can, focus for both eyes. So when I focus, my counsel is focus with your left eye with your right eye covered here, right over the binocular. If you wink, you can wink and focus with the left eye, but it changes the shape of your eye and changes the focus of your eye. So if you have both eyes open when you focus, you can focus on your left eye, right, which is actually moving both eyes at the same time. Focus with your left eye, and then switch to your right eye. Cover up the left side and use the diopter to focus and turn the diopter. That lets you focus both eyes in perfectly sharp focus. What does that do for you? That means your brain doesn't have to work as hard. When your brain doesn't have to work as hard, you can see better details. You can use the binoculars longer, and you'll be happier with using the binoculars. So one thing I tell people, the farther away, I see people looking at birds a long ways away, or a football game or something, and they're like this. Well, this is not how you should hold the binocular, right? If you're going to do just a real close view and real quick, okay, it works. But if you're looking at something a long ways away, put your elbows in, right? Elbows in against your chest. Get a hold of the binoculars, bring them back, and put the binoculars up against your eyebrow ridge, your eye socket. And now you're going to not bounce as much. Every time your heart beats, your hands move. If you're out here, your muscles are not perfect. You can't hold them still. But if you get like this, right, you can now focus a whole lot easier. And because you're steadier, you see significantly more detail than if you're just doing this number right here. It's really amazing how you can improve the view of binoculars simply by forming a little stand right here, just like this. You want to take them a step further? I don't have a ball cap, but if you get a fitted ball cap or a snapback, a one-size-fits-all won't do it because it'll stretch. You can do this. When you come up to your eyes, grab the bill of your cap.
Can you see anything, Ken?
I'm not looking at anything. Thank goodness I don't see you. So we can grab the bill of the cap and pull down, and now that makes you even steadier, and you're going to see even finer detail. A really impressive way to improve binoculars and improve your view is by doing that. So why do you go to a more expensive pair of binocular? Because the coatings and the glass and the prisms get better and better, and when they get better and better, you see brighter and brighter details, right?
You going to do the Tetons today?
I am going to do the Tetons today.
I'm going to have Rick White to give you a special announcement about Tetons.
Rick White is going to get, I don't even know what this special announcement about Tetons is, so we'll all be, I'm in the dark about it. I'm on the edge of my seat in anticipation of what Rick White, who's Rick White? Rick White is the director of our Alpen Bresser Pro staff, of all our outdoor people who use the binoculars and promote, can't say it, promote the binoculars. So let's do another bird real quick. Oh, but before we do, I want to talk about the neck strap real quick. The Shasta Ridge comes with this great neoprene stretchy neck strap. When I was growing up, my dad's binoculars had that really quarter-inch thick black plastic neck strap, and that thing dug into my neck. I never wore collar shirts. I was wearing T-shirts, and it'd dig into my neck, and we'd traipse around, and that thing dangling from my neck, and it was hot and dug in. I just didn't like it. This nice, soft neoprene, you can wear this around your neck. It distributes the weight, really makes a comfortable experience. Comes with a Shasta Ridge and up binoculars. A fine addition to a binocular is a wonderful neck strap. So if you're just joining us, we're Explore Scientific, and this is our channel. Today is our bird watching day. It's Thursdays on the Wing, where we talk about things to do with bird watching. One thing I like about binoculars is you can do a whole lot of things with binoculars. There's not just a single thing. You can use them for bird watching, sporting events, outdoors use, astronomy, all sorts of things you can do with them. So here is the next bird. This is Nettles Woodpecker. Should be popping up here just any old second now. I don't see it over on the monitor.
It's not going to be over there. You have to come off the switch.
Okay, there it is. I see it pop up now. So this is Nettles Woodpecker. This was taken in California by Carl Bernhardt. All these pictures today were taken by Carl, and we are using them with his permission. It's a small woodpecker with a chisel-shaped bill. It has a small rounded head, flat back, and an elongated appearance, right? They're black and white striped birds. A lot of woodpeckers have black and white stripes, similar to the Nettles Woodpecker. Males have a patch, and I can't see the top of this picture, so I don't know if it's a male or female. I don't remember. Has a red patch on the back of their heads, so that makes it a male. And both sexes, which is a common trait in lots of woodpeckers, and many woodpeckers, if they have a patch, the male's a small patch, the The males will have the red or a patch on the cheek, and the females don't. Very common, but not ubiquitous. Not every. Not every. There's a female. Let's keep that picture there. I can see that. So the female and male both have two narrow stripes across their cheeks. So you can see that right there, the narrow stripes of that female, right? The back has narrow black and white horizontal bars with a solid patch on the upper back. Underparts are whitish with spotting and barring on the flanks. Juveniles are grayish. And juveniles of both sexes have some red on the crown. Now, Nettles Woodpeckers probe and pick insects out of crevices in tree trunks, branches, and twigs. They circle branches and twigs while foraging, sometimes perching across the branch, balancing with their wings instead of leaning against their tails. And the Nettles Woodpecker lives in oak woodlands year-round. However, they do not eat acorns. So you'd think that a bird that is 100% associated, especially a woodpecker, that's 100% associated with oak woodlands would be an acorn feeder, but these are not. They specialize in insects that like oak woodlands. They also will use suburban areas and woodlands near streams with cottonwoods, willows, and sycamores, but they're very strongly associated with those oak woodlands. They're a year-round resident of California and a slight, tiny little nubbin going down into northern Mexico at the top of Baja California. So that's Nettles Woodpecker. Thank you for Carl Burkhart, former co-worker about 30 years ago, Carl Burkhart, for providing us with these pictures. Again, if you want to send us your pictures, we'd love to have them to share them with the world. If you like them, we'll like them too. Easiest way to do it is go to the Explore Scientific store on Amazon.com. Click on Contact Seller. Noah will see your message, and he'll tell you the easiest way to attach the pictures and get them sent to us so we can use them too. If you have a story about the bird and how you got it, where it was, we'll need to want to talk about where it was, because that tells us a lot about birds. There's a lot of woodpeckers that look similar to the Nettles Woodpecker. However, if they're in, say, Virginia, it's not going to be a Nettles or Nettles Woodpecker. We'll be able to narrow it down because of its location as well. However, like Dan George, who was the original host of On the Wing, says, just because it's a bird and there's a map, birds don't read maps and they don't honor boundaries. However, a Nettles Woodpecker is almost entirely in California, so the chances of finding one in Virginia would be slim. Maybe in Arizona or Utah, possibly, but not in Virginia all the way across the country. So this, peel these out here, of the Alpen Teton binoculars. These are, and I'm going to wedge it in there real tight, these are the 8x42 version, 8 power by 42 millimeters. And let's just have Rick White give us that special announcement right now. How about that?
Well, the deer are just starting to come out. Hi, I'm Rick White with Alpine Optics, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the new Alpen Teton binoculars. ED glass, multi-coated lenses, magnesium body, and Abbey Prism. Now, people wonder, what's an Abbey Prism? Well, it's a longer prism, and it's a V-shaped prism that allows 94% more light into a pair of binoculars. Waterproof, lifetime warranty, doesn't get much better than that. If you're looking for a great pair of binoculars, and I mean a great pair, check out the Alpen Teton binoculars. You'll be glad you did.
And thank you, Rick, for that bit of information. The Abbey Prism is what makes these. When I started, we first started talking about the Abbey Prism, I'd heard of it before, but I started doing some research in why it works better than other prisms. It's named after a person who invented it. Like Rick said, it's a longer prism that is a really V-shaped, not square. And that causes a different, much sharper reflection on those interior glass surfaces that create a much brighter, much crisper view through the binoculars. Why aren't they used in all binoculars? Because those are expensive to make and they're harder to make. And so that increases the cost. But with that increased cost comes a fine pair of binoculars. Now, when Paul was out filming that video we just saw, he picked up a pair basically almost at dark and looked out in the woods.
About 25 minutes after I shot that.
Yeah, so looked out in the woods and was shocked. It was like he was seeing in the dark, and it was really still bright and beautiful in the eyepieces. So this is the Alpen Teton 8x42. They come in different sizes. This has the Abbey Prism, as Rick said. These are fully multi-coated with ED glass. What's ED glass? Extra low dispersion. It's a specific kind of glass inside here. This is designed to not disperse light, to keep it all the light together in focus. Another thing that makes the binoculars even better, the ED glass, the fully multi-coatings, the Abbey Prism, all these things are designed to work together to put sharper, crisper, more light into your eyeballs, making this pair of binoculars a fantastic investment. You take care of these binoculars, they're going to last you a long, long time. The magnesium body is rugged yet lightweight. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a light pair of binoculars, but so much lighter than if they'd been used with a previous design of metal. We call these the new ones, again, like I said, with the new Shasta Ridge. They're the Teton binoculars, the tools that were making them, the factory had shut down, the tools were gone, and so we redesigned these and used modern technology and modern advances over the previous design to make them even better than they were before. I can't say enough about these binoculars. Fantastic pair of binoculars. You can pick them up over in your carousel right now. Click on the carousel. Sir?
Wait, one more video.
One more video coming up. Here we go.
Well, I'm out doing a little bit of late evening scouting, just looking for deer and waiting for them to come out into the field. But I've got a new pair of Alpen Teton binoculars. You know, a lot of times people will ask me, what binoculars are best in low light situations? Well, that's simple. The answer is the Alpen Teton binoculars. And the reason for that is they have the Abbey Prism, which simply means it allows 94% of available light to get through these binoculars, making them an excellent pair of binoculars in low light. So if you're looking for a pair of binoculars that will see detail into a dark timber right now, this time of the evening, make sure you check out the Alpen Teton binoculars. You'll be glad you did. Oh, here's some deer coming out right now.
And there we go. Once again, Rick White. And boy, Paul, I'll tell you, that background almost looked real. For being a printed background in the studio here, that was just, it almost looked like you're up in Iowa on his farm taking pictures.
Yes, that's true.
It's because he was up on this farm in Iowa taking the video. Well, that's pretty light, Paul. The sunset.
It was nice.
Yeah, hot though, wasn't it?
Oh, we did that mid-July.
He did mid-July, so did it just about right now.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful, still beautiful and green.
That was last year. It wasn't as hot.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
That was last year.
Is that last year? Yeah. So it is hot. However, you know, I'm going to the Nebraska Star Party for an astronomy event next week. You know what the low in Valentine, Nebraska was this morning, Paul?
17.
You're thinking in the correct direction. It was 51. Not bad at all.
Well, it's almost to Canada.
No, it's in Nebraska. You got two whole states. You got the Dax between there and Canada.
Right.
and it's still getting up into like high 90s today, so a pretty good temperature swing. So anyway, while I'm up there, I'm going to be doing some birding as well, and when I get back, I'll report on what birds I managed to scout out.
You know what?
I'm going to guarantee one bird, house sparrow.
You know what, Ken?
No, what, Paul?
So I'm sitting here. I guess my microphone's working. Yeah, it's working. So I'm sitting here. I'm thinking, how am I going to get that audio or that pair of binos there on my tripod?
Ah, yeah, we haven't talked about that in a while. So you've got a tripod, right? And you want to get tired of holding up the binoculars because they can get very heavy. And even though you're doing this business to hold them up, your arms are still getting tired. Well, it is very possible and easy, in fact, to attach your binoculars to a tripod. This is the Alpen tripod adapter. It'll fit on all brands of binoculars. Has a 1/4 to 20 screw. That's the standard North American tripod screw. And all good pair of binoculars have a little thing right here where they bend on the hinge. That's not just a decorative piece to make it look sharp. That's actually a cap. And look at that. There is a screw hole. And we can take the Alpen. Let me see. You want to put the lens caps on here? Because I'm pushing it down. That'll work. I'm going to take this, and now I can screw that screw into that hole, right?
Hey, look, I have audio.
Paul has got audio, darn it. So, and tighten that up, and voila, now, look at that. You can mount this on a pair of, a tripod or a monopod, giving you much longer and much steadier views. If I was going to go out in the woods, I would use a monopod. What's a monopod? It's a one-legged stick with a, in this case, an ability to put a camera or a tripod adapter on it. So imagine a tripod with only one leg. That's a monopod.
Tilt it up.
Tilt it up like this.
Yeah, see how it's like purple? That's reflecting
Oh,
back
you're talking
that
about the
color.
glass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
No,
the
your
tripod
knuckles.
adapter. My knuckles are sort of shiny, thank you very much. And I trimmed my fingernails too, although I didn't get a manicure or anything. So I'm not like Tyler, gets his toenails done.
Tyler obviously walked back in the room.
Tyler walked back in the room. I can't avoid it. He's so much fun of a target. But he pays
Look
me,
at the binoculars.
but he
Look at
pays
those
me back
fancy
as well.
binoculars.
So, beautiful pair of binoculars, ready to go. Again, if
They're
you've
purple.
been using the binoculars and you want to upgrade your game and get an affordable, high-end binocular, you can do this. Compare these
why
to
is-
other brands, and they're very comparable, but the price is significantly lower.
Why is it purple and why does it...
That's the color of, it's not really, I see it as almost a magenta because, it's how your eye sees it. I see it as a magenta, but it's not an overwhelming, crazy reflective surface like you see on some really cheap, inexpensive binoculars
So
that
what's
you
it
see
doing?
on TV. It is rejecting some wavelengths of light that it's the coatings. You're seeing the coatings and it's wavelengths. They're bouncing back.
Yeah, the coating is... What you can't... By filtering light, it just doesn't go away. It's got to go somewhere. Correct.
You
It's got to
want
be
this-
reflected out
You want to get as much light into your eye as you can. However,
without the bad light.
these are designed to give you that brightness while rejecting some wavelengths of light that can cause harshness and maybe degrade the image. These are the Alpen Teton binoculars. If you want an investment in binoculars, this is the route to go. So we got a few minutes left. Going to move along and talk
Another
about
bird?
Another bird.
another bird, and I'll get a spotting scope up here. We're going to go. We're going to go to the white-faced ibis.
What?
the white-faced ibis.
Is that the water bird?
Yep.
The shorebird?
It's an ibis.
Okay, there it is. Bam.
Okay, I don't see it yet. It's an ibis. It's a white-faced ibis. Ibis are shorebirds. Obviously,
What are you doing, Tyler?
they walk in water.
I'm giving him the comments, but there's nobody commenting, so just give him the Amazon.
Let's see. What is the closest? The color is the wavelength mean reflected away by more than other wavelengths. That's from Offred. Boy, it's shaking to beat the band.
F11.
All right, so this is a white-faced ibis. There you go. All right, it's a medium-sized, long-legged wading bird. It's about the size of a crow, but it's on stilts. With a long, strongly curved bill, has a thick oval body shape and a long neck. The wings are broad and fairly rounded. White-faced ibis look dark, almost blackish at a distance. Close up and in good light, breeding adults are glossy maroon with metallic green and bronze tones on the wings. So this is the picture we're looking at now, and by golly, that is this bird to a T. I'll read that again. Glossy maroon with metallic green and bronze tones on the wings. Fits this bird to a T. Typically have red eyes with pink legs and facial skin. You can see the red eye with the pink facial skin. The legs don't look really pink, but they are. The face is highlighted by a narrow band of white that is absent in the glossy ibis. So there's another bird, very, very similar, named the glossy ibis. Don't have a picture of said bird, but one of the only differences is the non-breeding adults. Let's see, where are we at? I'm lost. Narrow band of white across the bill. So the face. White ibises are usually seen in flocks, both when nesting in colonies and foraging. They feed by lowering their bill into the mud, water, or soil and feel for prey. They also sweep their bill through the water, and they often catch prey by sight. So they see them, and including insects and vegetation, and they will spear it with their bill when they fish by sight. Any wetland environment with shallow water, exposed mud, where they can readily feed in fields and where soil is moist. This is the bird of the southwestern United States, stretching west from the Mississippi River to the Pacific coast, and from the upper plains south into much of Mexico and down into Central America. In the U.S., they are seen during migration and breeding season, and I have never seen one, although we are in their migration and potentially breeding range. I've never seen one. I have to go out and look for one of these birds, but quite a challenge to find them. So we're going to talk about the last thing today. This is, I'm working on it. Had it setting and it fell over because of Tyler. I try to blame as much as I can on Tyler. Some of it he deserves. This is the Alpen Apex, which is top of the line, spotting scope. This is a 20 power eyepiece to 60 power eyepiece, so it's a zoom eyepiece. We can start out low power, find it, get it centered up, and we can then zoom in by turning the zoom eyepiece. Has a coarse focus knob. When you turn it, this other knob just spins like a going Jessie. That's because it's the fine focus. You can touch the fine focus and go from there. So I'm not on. I'm sitting here talking about it, and I didn't talk about what's on the screen.
No, you're talking about
So
what's on the screen.
anyway, yeah, but I want to talk about what I'm talking about. So this has an 80 millimeter aperture right here. Look at that big old beautiful piece of ED glass, low, extra low dispersion glass, bright, contrasty image in here. Has a fantastic prism that gets things right side up and correctly oriented. Look at that. You can see that it has a slide up rain shield, sun shield. So if you're getting glare from a high sun, you can slide the seal out and you can shade the glass. One cool thing I like, it does have an attachment for a tripod. One cool thing I like is you're not just stuck looking at it at this angle. So if you wanted to sit down on something and rotate the spotting scope over and have it on a tripod, sitting there, you can find an angle that makes it really easy and comfortable for you to look through. And instead of having to bend over and look down, you can get a better angle for it. That's a nice added feature to this spotting scope. It is waterproof. So again, it's been argon or nitrogen purged. So all the air's gone, there's no moisture inside, so it's not going to fog up. You can attach a camera to this and take pictures through it. It comes with, this is what I like, it's waterproof, but it's expensive, and you want to take care of your investments. It comes with this carrying case, and there's a shoulder strap with it. But what I like about this carrying case is, just because it's in the carrying case doesn't mean you can't use it, right? So if you want to keep it in the carrying case, unzip the end, pop the dust cover off. You can mount it on a tripod right there. Cool little zipper exposes the foot, so you can attach it to a tripod, and then you can see that you can access the focuser and the eyepiece while still keeping much of the spotting scope protected from the elements. This is the Alpen Apex 20 to 60 zoom by 80 millimeter objective lens spotting scope. A fantastic upgrade to your kit. If you're looking for something to up your game, if you want to go out and look for game out on hillsides, look for birds, eye view spotting scopes in the wintertime, looking at flocks of ducks and geese out feeding in fields and on the water, trying to identify the species. Something like this is a fantastic tool. You know, at 80 power, you can reach way out there and identify birds that with a pair of binoculars you can't really identify. A really nice pair of binocular or spotting scope. One thing I like is it's got a 45-degree viewing angle that allows you the ability to look down into it, as opposed to the straight throughs. The eyepiece is here, and then the prism, and it goes down in. Those are, to me, a little bit harder to use, but for some people, that fits their needs. So, what do we have here? Any more comments? No more comments. It's about time to wrap up the show, folks. I appreciate you spending time with us today. Thank you for the gift of your time with us. If you're on Amazon Live and haven't done so and you've enjoyed what you've seen, click that follow button so you get notified. So when we go live, you get notified of all of our content Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock Central Time every Monday through Friday. Tomorrow is going to be focused on astrophotography, and then next week I will not be here to host any of my regular shows, which is on Monday is How Do You Know, where we talk about different things in science. Tuesday is Fun Day Tuesday, or fun,
What was it?
educational Tuesday.
What was it?
I don't know. I like Fun Day Tuesday.
Anna Tuesday?
Any Tuesday or something like
Yeah,
that.
the antidote or
I
Anna.
don't know. So Wednesday is
can't
First
remember.
Light Chronicles. Thursday is On the Wing, where you have today. I won't be here next
On
week.
the Wing.
However, if we have good enough cell service out in the wilds of north central Nebraska, Merritt Reservoir to be exact, I'll be doing some broadcasting out there.
You should do the
if
whole
we can.
show from there.
Boy, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, with
Do a stand-up
with an iPhone in the heat.
on location. You could do it. You take. Aren't you
Actually-
taking your
actually,
trailer?
Afternoons, so we're going to be at.
Aren't you taking your trailer?
Yes, but the trailer's not going to be where I'm going to be for most of it. It's not going to be close to the observing field. We will be in Valentine for some field schools and stuff. I might broadcast from there because I know Valentine has better cell reception.
Don't forget my book that you can't buy.
And don't forget Paul's book that you can't buy. It's over there in the carousel as
For
well.
some reason, it's still on Amazon, but you can't buy it. Dumb, right?
Dumb right. So, we're done. It's 3 o'clock. I want to thank Paul for what he's done to adding to our abilities. We can now broadcast effectively 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're going to be streaming our Amazon content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until we go live. And
Yep.
Tyler is going to be learning how to do the studio a little bit, and Lucy as well. You'll see Lucy on Tuesdays helping Annie with her show. And over in the Computer Central Marketplace, Noah Menard. And I always ask him to give us a wave, and here's what he did today. The old double hand hello. We appreciate that, Noah. Thank you for the
He's
great
just
work
making
you do.
stuff up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting wild, man. He's going to do a two-hand wave. What's next? He's going to stand up and dance or something. So anyway, and everybody else here at Explore Scientific, we truly appreciate you watching. Have a great Thursday, or wherever you are around the world. Might be Friday. Bye-bye, everybody.